Yeah, we're recording. So it's my absolute pleasure to welcome you all to say hello to Cleary Vaughan-Lee, who's a friend of mine. And Cleary, you are the founder and the executive director of the Global Oneness Project. And as part of the kind of the whole how that we are sharing with people today, I thought it'd be really good for you to tell people exactly what the project is and then how they can engage with it. So first of all, out your window, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Tell us where you are.
So I live in Northern California, about in Inverness, California. It's about an hour and a half drive north of San Francisco, here in the woods and right by the sea. We have our office here as well, Global Oneness Project office. We've been around about 13 years. And basically, we kind of lie at the intersection of storytelling and education. So we provide stories in the form of short documentary films, photo essays, and essays. And all of these stories really explore social, cultural, and environmental issues from all around the world. And what we aim to do with these stories, and these stories really focus on individuals and communities lying really at these crossroads of change. So you may come to a story where a specific community is experiencing climate change due to global sea rise, or we have a lot of stories as well that focus on indigenous cultures. The aim really is to encourage students to learn about these people and places and the changes, but as well as to learn about the global issues. So, how do you learn about migration or poverty or sustainability or climate change through a very specific lens, through one story, one individual story, or one community story? And then we provide companion curricula, which really dives into learning about these issues. And then we provide questions and learning activities so that students can really take the global issue and trickle it down to the community lens and then to the personal lens. And I would just add one aspect of what we do is really to foster empathy in the classroom, to foster resilience and a sacred relationship to our planet. That's our mission.
And is there anything specifically you'd recommend people go straight to in terms of sustainability?
One is our film Earthrise, which tells the story of the Earthrise image captured from space on the Apollo mission in
We've
1968.
shared that image, the overview.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
And what's so beautiful about this story, because the story really focuses on the Earthrise image and the Apollo 8 astronauts, is that this is the first time that we saw our Earth from space as one ecosystem. And when students and teachers we also provide a free companion curriculum guide, which is a really in-depth at 60 pages. And it really dives into three different themes: bearing witness, exploration, and reverence for our environment. When you look at the Earthrise photograph, the astronauts say in the film, there are no boundaries, there's no borders. They're really artificial ones. So when you look at this from the lens of sustainability, that's a really interesting overarching perspective to look at. It's a great film to kind of plant that seed, and then you can take any kind of sustainable education in many different ways. And then the second film that I would share is a film called Sanctuaries of Silence. This is a 360 virtual reality film, but you can see it as a 360 film on our site. And this is a film that explores the story of an acoustic ecologist, Gordon Hempton. It's set in the Hoh Rainforest, which is in North America in Washington State. And this is kind of one of the last bastions of the quietest places in North America. And it really points to the power of silence. And so in the film, you kind of take an exploration through the sound ecologist's perspective. But as you're kind of pondering, what does it mean? What does silence mean? One thing. How can we start thinking about noise pollution, which is interesting? It's an interesting perspective when COVID began too, because the world started to slow down and people started having these experiences with birds. So how can we think about silence in ways? So we provide listening activities. We have ways to do like a sound map that you can really look at your local place, specifically where you live and really start turning your attention to silence and what are the sounds around you. So, those are two resources to share that can really kind of spark some
Beautiful.
ideas.
And just the simplicity of one, that amazing image, and then the second one of just listening to the silence and reflecting on that.
Yeah.
Claire, it's been a pleasure talking to you again. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful backdrop view and your amazing global oneness project from Northern California with the Eden Changemakers. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Alex.